Okay, so summary for The Witcher. We're just going to get right to the point this time around and say that for us, for our groups of people, this game is a flop. It has some things it does pretty reasonably well. You know, it's an FFG product, so you know the components are thick and shiny and just generally wonderful. I mean, gotta love FFG and their cool bits. But really, the game, well, the way I sum it up is that it has a great beginning, a so-so middle, and no particular ending. You get most of your character development and, you know, your introduction to questing and moving around and such done within the first hour or so of the game. You'll be pretty reasonably set up and put together and familiar with how your character's going to go and that sort of thing. In hour 2, you may do a little more development, you know, and you'll definitely be doing more questing and such, because it's about finishing quests. And then in hour 3, you're pretty well already developed and you're really just trying to punch through your quest as quickly as you can. It just gets really repetitive, and the game ends up, unfortunately in our experience, taking 2 to 3 hours generally. And most of that time is going to be downtime. There's no particular interaction between players at all, which is shocking for an FFG product.
And it's definitely what the game is missing.
Well, it's one factor, certainly. I mean, the highest interaction you have is running over to the other guy and paying the bank something, and you each get a couple points. And that's it. That's the interaction. And it just, you know, combat is essentially the same on basically every monster. Look at the sword number, look at the shield number, try and have those numbers. And it just, for a game that takes 45 minutes to an hour, this would all be more than adequate. This would be completely sufficient and pretty terrific for the most part. But for 2-3 hours, it just gets so samey. And after a while, you've done all the developing of your character you really need to do. I mean, do you need a second or third card that gives you 4 shields? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure you're not going to need that many shields. You're not. You know, and a lot of the Foul Fate cards end up having kind of a minimal impact, which, you know, takes a little bit of the fear out of the game that it really should have, since you can't die. It just kind of feels like a race towards an objective that takes so long that it turns into a slog towards an objective. And honestly, your points are going to stay very close to each other pretty much all the time, unless somebody just gets critically screwed, in which case I'm sure they're having a lot of fun. And it's just not something that really manages to grab anybody. For the length of time you will end up spending on it, there isn't enough substance to it. It's really, I mean, you saw in the 15-20 minutes of video we did pretty much everything you will do in the game. I don't think we really missed anything except maybe some character-specific stuff.
I guess if you're into it, it'd be an interesting thing to play solo.
I suppose it could be an interesting solo challenge of sorts. This is 1 to 4, right? And of course I'm missing the box bottom, which would tell me. Oh, yep, there it is. What are you? What is your player count here? 2 to 4. No, so it's not even designed to be solo.
But I
don't see why you couldn't, but yeah. So really it just, you get wonderful components for $40, but not really much of a game. And we are huge Ignacy fans, especially in my house. We love Ignacy. We love Robinson. We're going to be playing Imperial Settlers later for the first time. Woohoo! And we love Ignacy, but this is just, it's a miss for us, very much so. But if you liked what you saw, don't hesitate to give it a try. We've been thinking that house ruling it to be 2 quests instead of 3 might take some of the goes on way too long out of it. As always, you gotta make up your own mind. I hope this was helpful to somebody. Well, yeah, like I said, wonderful components for $40, give or take, but just no particular game. So, hopefully you got some use out of this one way or another. We will see you next time.